This is the Practical Homeopathy Podcast, episode number 171.
Hi, I'm Joette Calabrese, and I welcome you to our healthcare movement, yours, mine, and the countless men and women across the globe who have retaken control of their family's health with practical homeopathy. So, for the next few minutes, let's link our arms as I demystify homeopathy, what was once considered an esoteric paradigm, into an understandable, reproducible, safe, and effective healthcare solution available to all. This is the medicine you've been searching for, my unique brand of homeopathy, practical homeopathy.
Welcome to the Practical Homeopathy Podcast. I'm Kate, and today I'm joined by my friend Kelsey. Kelsey has come up with a theme for this podcast, and it's called Finding Your True North. And I can't wait for her to tell you why she's chosen that title for today's theme of the podcast. But I want to tell you a little bit about Kelsey. So as a mother whose greatest charge is caring for her family, Kelsey has seen practical homeopathy work powerfully in her own life, from healing stubborn boils and gut issues to resolving serious staph infection in hours, as well as insomnia with a single well-chosen remedy. So like Sherlock Holmes, she knows it's not just what we know, but what we can prove. And today, Kelsey will share how, after exploring far and wide, she's arrived back where she started, only now with a deeper appreciation and understanding. So Kelsey, I can't wait to hear your stories, and I want to welcome you to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Kate. It's so good to see you today.
So Kelsey, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, Kate, as you know, I was privileged to take the Gateway 1 and 2 with you and Michelle many years ago, and I was hooked. I actually ended up taking Gateway 1 and 2 for a solid year. I just kept coming back again and again.
We've known each other for quite a while.
Truly. And it was the community that I enjoyed so much, and the camaraderie, and just kind of finding a place to ask my questions about homeopathy. It was such a wonderful opportunity. So that was my first real entry into homeopathy.
Right.
Kind of the natural progression. It took Joette's larger courses. And so those blew my mind because it was just unraveling the onion of learning. I did all of her larger courses. And then after taking Joette's larger courses, around that time, the Academy of Practical Homeopathy was opening up. And so I naturally dove right in and was a part of the pioneer class, graduating in 2022. And I just loved that. It offered a solid foundation for students studying homeopathy in history and in the materia medica. But I think what I loved most was the interviews. Joette actually interviewed the late Robin Murphy, and it was such a great opportunity to learn from one of the masters.
Right. That was such a good interview. I loved that. And it's too bad that he's no longer with us, but we use his repertory in materia medica all the time, don't we, Kelsey?
We do. It's a foundation of everything Joette teaches. I mean,
yeah.
It's one of my favorite books to have around me.
Then tell us what happened next.
Okay, so after I graduated with Joette and APH, I decided that I would try classical school. So I went for 1 year, and for a variety of reasons, it just wasn't the right fit for me. So I decided to step back and reassess my priorities. And as I stepped back, I came to realize that really it was the strict teaching in classical homeopathy that wasn't really sitting right with me, that there's only one way to use it. I was having a bit of a tough time with that, especially considering all that I had learned in the academy. And so really started to do more research and look back on what I had learned in the academy. If you look at the Organon and its various editions, written by Hahnemann himself, as well as the great book by Dr. Thomas Lindsley Bradford called The Life and Letters of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, it actually shows the progression of Hahnemann's understanding of homeopathic methodology over time. And if you look at it, the third edition is really different from the sixth edition. It's obvious that there were changes and updates as Hahnemann unearthed and understood more about his craft. And so that really stood out to me as a reality that there are more ways to use this modality than just one. So I think all of us would agree that scientists and practitioners need to be open to change and growth in their fields. The laws of universe stay the same, like the law of similars, of course, because the creator doesn't change and he put these laws in place. But our understanding of them and how they work is subject to change. And so I think no matter what field we're in, human beings are constantly uncovering and learning more about God's world. The doctors Banerjee and Practical Homeopathy both humbly acknowledge this fact by blending a variety of methods together for a truly effective modality.
So what led you to this, what you're calling a coming home?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. In the midst of my searching, I was given a very sobering diagnosis, and it made me just stop everything completely and reassess what I knew about homeopathy. The rubber met the road for me. With this diagnosis, I had to ask myself, what method of homeopathy would I employ during such a time? And I turned to what I knew, and what I knew worked. And that's when I came home again to practical homeopathy.
Oh, I love the way you put that, because we missed you when we didn't see you, and we're glad to have you back. And it's very exciting what you're doing. And I can't wait to see what your future using this medicine and helping others leads to. So I want to ask you now to talk more about that coming home for you and what that felt like and what that means to you now.
The thing I love about Joette's method and practical homeopathy and what the Banerjees have put out is that these methods are accessible and they're reproducible. So even when I was in school, I would constantly refer people to Joette's blog because she provides so much information and she makes homeopathy so easy. Anyone can use it. And what I love is that this method is not out of touch. It's really logical. And I think the best part, honestly, for me, because I love research, is that it's backed up by over 200 years of clinical data and success enjoyed by the doctors Banerjee. I truly believe that practical homeopathy moves us forward. I'm reading a book right now about George Washington, and he was a farmer and he was a master gardener. He came up with more effective ways to plant his crops. And in the book, it talks about this invention that he made. He developed a barrel with holes in it that could be rolled around in a field to drop seeds more efficiently. This was a fantastic invention at the time, but we would not use something like this today, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Most large-scale farmers have developed greater technology to get the job done. To me, this is not unlike what led to the development of practical homeopathy. The method that Joette teaches has its roots in the genius findings of Hahnemann, while also making room for the discoveries and advancements that took place over time. I mean, we would expect this kind of progression with any other form of science or technology, right?
Right. Yes.
So like the Banerjees and practical homeopathy does not stay stuck in one place. They move us forward and allow us to expand our knowledge of just how this gorgeous modality works in daily life. And I love that.
You've really put a lot of thought into this, Kelsey, about the differences and the different methodologies and why you've come back to practical homeopathy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps to have both sides and to see sort of why people do what they do. And then to look at reality and see how science actually works and how things change over time. It really has helped me to have a foundation that is solid.
Okay, Kelsey, let's get to the meat of the podcast, which is your successes. I know you have a lot to share, but if you can boil it down to maybe 3 or 4 things that you think could be helpful to those who are listening today.
Oh, that's tough because there's a lot of good things that have happened, but I'll try.
Okay.
I will start with a neat story that was about me because that's where I really learned how to use homeopathy was with myself first. But essentially, out of the blue, I got this boil and it was super large and scary and developed really quickly. And so at the time, I didn't have a lot of experience with homeopathy. And of course, I did what most people would do and I just went and got an antibiotic. Well, we didn't know that I was allergic to this antibiotic. And so after 1 dose, I had a really bad reaction. It was anaphylactic, it was scary, and it really just made me think like, I can never take this again. And so that for me was when the rubber met the road. I went searching, I found Joette's blog. The blog name is Nailing MRSA with Homeopathy. And I just thought, well, let me go ahead and try these remedies. I'll see if they work. And within just a few days, the boil that was angry, red, infected was completely better. And it just blew my mind. Unfortunately, in that same story, I endured the most horrendous gut dysbiosis following this antibiotic, which can happen sometimes. And I was at my wit's end, Kate. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was very limited on what I could eat. It was like overnight, my world changed. And if you do any research about gut dysbiosis, you know that this can happen for folk. And so I went crawling to Joette, as she says people often do, to homeopathy. And I had seen functional medical doctors, I had seen allopathic physicians, and truly Joette and practical homeopathy was what got me up the mountaintop and down again. From there, I was absolutely hooked. So I became a client of Joette, and she recommended a protocol specific to gut dysbiosis. Those are in the Good Gut, Bad Gut course for those of you that have it or are looking to learn more. And it actually changed my life. It made me so much better. In about 6 months, I was back to my normal self. Okay, the next story I have is about a family member who got a staph infection on her lip. Now, this family member was getting a makeover done and was using borrowed lipstick. And unfortunately, she had already had a little bit of a canker sore on her lip. And within just a few hours of getting the makeover, her lip got really big. I mean, it happened quickly. And so she reached out to me, went to bed that night, didn't seem like that big of a deal. But by morning, her lip had doubled in size. She could barely close her mouth, and it was severely infected. She had a staph infection. And so we worked together, and she basically gave herself 8 hours before she was going to take an antibiotic. She ordered the antibiotics in the morning. She took the remedies recommended in the morning as well. And by that evening, her lip was completely down. And by the next day, the infection was gone. She was amazed. We found a protocol for such an instance on Joette's blog called Holy Cow Blood Poisoning. And so if you want to look there for that information, it's all there. But it was truly one of those moments where we thought, is this going to work? And it did. And both of us became even bigger believers.
Oh, good. So she didn't ever end up taking the antibiotic for her?
She didn't. They were ready to go, available for her if she needed them, but she did not need them.
That's awesome. Okay. And I think you have one more story that you're going to share with us.
Yes, this one is just a sweet one. I spend a lot of time with my mom, and she just turned 70. And she has been experiencing insomnia, and it's really gotten her down. And so we looked on Joette's blog, and on it, you'll find one called Ditch the Drugs and Use Homeopathy for Insomnia. And so my mom employed Ignatia 200C, and it has completely resolved her insomnia. She sleeps like a baby every night, and it's glorious.
Oh, I love that remedy. I think so many people could use that.
Oh, it's true.
What a great thing. It's tough when you can't sleep, for sure. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So Kelsey, you have something funny that we had talked about earlier regarding lipstick and Joette.
How ironic that we would talk about lipstick after that staph story, Kate.
Right, exactly. So tell me how you're comparing Joette to Chanel and lipstick and homeopathy and how you're incorporating that all together.
Okay, so what I love about learning from Joette is that she literally puts red lipstick and Chanel on homeopathy. And what I mean by that is she has a way of making it stick. It's beautiful, it's elegant with her stories and her charisma. And I also was thinking about it further. Another analogy I like to say is that I believe Joette is to homeopathy what Julia Child was to French cooking. Okay, so most of you know that Julia brought the beauties of French cuisine into the homes of the average American housewife. She made something that was very unreachable into an accessible pleasure for the ordinary home cook. And in the same vein, I believe Joette has brought an otherwise ethereal and quite out of reach modality into the home in order to aid the family in caring for itself. I mean, I believe French cooking should regularly grace our tables because it's so good. And along those same lines, I think that homeopathy deserves its rightful place in the home first. Both Julia and Joette have made that a possibility.
So as we wrap up the podcast, do you have any final thoughts or wisdom that you want to share with the listeners?
I do, Kate. I have 2 quotes I'd love to share with you if you'd let me.
Sure.
The first one is from the great classic, The Hounds of Baskerville. And in this book, Sherlock Holmes says, quote, "It is not what we know, but what we can prove," end quote. And as you know, the materia medica is made up of provings, both accidental and intentional. And so with Holmes, we can confidently say that homeopathic medicine is not just about what we know in theory, but about what we can actually prove. And I just love that. And the final quote I'd like to share is from T.S. Eliot, and it goes like this, quote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time," end quote. And why this quote rings true for me especially is because I went searching and really I had everything right in front of me. I had these beautiful methods of practical homeopathy and a stellar guide in Joette. And it doesn't mean we shouldn't explore or extend our learning, but when we do, we might just find out, like I did, that we come home with a deeper appreciation and understanding of what we had all along. And so with Holmes, I can confidently say that I don't just know this to be true now, I can prove it.
Oh, I love that. Kelsey, it's been a pleasure having you here. And I know the listeners have enjoyed the podcast just like I have enjoyed talking to you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Kate. It's been a pleasure.
It's my honor to share many lessons on this simple method of using homeopathy for free without affiliates or advertising here in my podcasts, but also my blog posts and Monday Night Lives. But it's critical that you learn how to use these medicines properly. These podcasts should serve as only the beginning of your training. Peruse joetteslearningcenter.com to find fun study group opportunities and in-depth courses developed by subject. So with the proper training, you can join the thousands of students before you in developing the confidence and competence to protect the health of your family and loved ones with my brand of homeopathy, Practical Homeopathy.
You just listened to a podcast from internationally acclaimed homeopath, public speaker, and author, the founder of the Academy of Practical Homeopathy, Joette Calabrese. Joette's podcasts are available on all your favorite podcast apps. To learn more and find out if homeopathy is a good fit for your health strategy, visit practicalhomeopathy.com.